Would you guys like to know how much revenue a gas station can generate? It'll surprise and shock you, so stick around and find out.
So today we'll tell you how we turn a $1 million investment into a $37 million yearly revenue.
That's huge, so stick around to find out about that and a lot more. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story, your family business. Tell us a little bit about your background and when you first bought your gas station.
So first gas station we bought, it was 2019. It's been 3 years. Now we have a total of 8. I did start into retail about 15 years ago. That actually brought me into owning a gas station again.
When you first bought your gas station, how much was it and how did you structure the deal?
So the first gas station we bought was the Arco gas station. So it was $3.5 million gas station. We had to put down $1 million as a down payment. Down payment came in all from saving.
Wow.
Working hard for the last 15 years, myself and my husband Paul, owning a couple of trucks in the trucking industry, and Jesse, our business partner, also working full-time, managing a couple of the gas stations. So pretty much $1 million from saving puts that into buying the $3.5 million gas station.
Let's talk about marketing. I've always wondered and never knew, do gas stations market? If so, maybe differently, what are you guys doing to just keep your name out there?
Being a gas station owner, you don't get a lot of time to go out there to market anything for advertising or in social media.
Okay.
But we do go out there a lot. We hand out coffee cards, we hand out candies to the kids in the parades, and the team that we sponsored in 2019, they end up actually creating jerseys which had a Linden Arco written on it, and the kids did walk in the parade wearing those jerseys.
Nice.
And we end up getting a couple of the jerseys for ourselves.
What about overhead for this station? On average, what do you need to bring in just to cover your costs?
On average, you're looking at a payroll, looking at the expensive, anywhere close to $15,000 to $20,000 a month would be the expense.
That doesn't include inventory and fuel, right?
That does not.
Where's your revenue at now across the stations on average per month?
On average, I would say on our slow stations, close to $250,000 to $300,000 a month, and our busy station, anywhere from $400,000 to $500,000 a month.
Wow, okay. And that's the number that will get you to the $37 million together.
Together.
Guys, $37 million running and operating gas station.
Yes.
You guys know exactly what you're doing, and that's awesome. So as far as this Shell location, viewers would like to know, how does this Shell station make you money? Inside store sales versus outside, on average?
On average, it's about 40% outside, 60% inside.
Right.
So majority of your sale, majority of your profit is going to be from inside store.
And where are the profits? I know you mentioned at Arco that you typically go for about a 30% profit on the inside merchandise, right? Is that about the same here as well?
Exactly, about 30%.
And where's fuel?
Fuel, it all depends. Everybody likes to have their margin set differently.
Okay.
The lower the margin, more the volume. So that's how we like to go with it. So pretty much typically anywhere from 20 cents to 30 cents is the average margin you want to stay with.
Let's talk about employees. How many employees do you have across the whole team? What do you pay them on average? And how do you know they're not stealing from you?
On average, each store we have 7 to 8 employees, including one manager, so average about 8 to 9 employees.
But you have so that's like almost 40 people, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
With the minimum pay, we do have to pay a little bit higher to keep the staff. We are at $15 to $16 per employee per hour, and
as far as
how do you know they're not stealing?
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's a little hard. There's a lot of inventory. We do have an inventory system in place which keeps track what comes in the store, what goes out.
Right.
And if there is an issue that we find, we do audits, we do inventory cycle counts, which helps us to control our inventory and know if there's anything going out the door without.
How often are you doing inventory accounts, the visits?
We try to do that once a month, so that when we have a good number of what our inventory is in the store.
What system and software do you use to manage inventory across all the 8 stations?
So we have a couple of different softwares. At the Arco here, we have the software with the Verifone. So basically controls what we sell in the store, what kind of inventory we have in the store. And at the Shells, it's still pretty new.
Okay.
We have the S2K system there, which controls the inventory and what goes out at the registers.
A lot of people are asking whether if you have a Shell station or Arco or 76, are those a franchisee-franchisor relationship? Or what kind of setup and structure is it?
So it's basically a contract that you sign with a company.
Okay.
So contract can be anywhere from 10 years to 15 years.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
You basically agree to sell their fuel.
Exactly.
So it's all about the fuel.
It's all about the fuel. It's all about what brand you want to be with.
Okay. So now that we're talking about these gas pumps, I'm curious how often you have to fix them, how often they break, what breaks the most? Tell us about that.
The pump itself, it does not break that fast.
Okay,
The only
that's
thing
good.
we would ever have issue is with the nozzle. So these needs to be replaced depending on the use of the pump. I would say maybe once a month. But overall, we do have a maintenance contract with the company who comes in and does the repair on the pumps if it's needed, changing filters, and we also have company who come and does the regular inspections on the pumps, which is very necessary.
Just like a car can't run without fuel, you can't get a business off the ground without setting it up the right way. Therefore, you need to set your company up properly and legally right from the get-go. But if you're not quite sure how to do that, that's where Busy comes in. Busy lets you launch your business the simple way, forming your LLC, filing everything with the state, and making sure you're official from the start in just a few clicks. They even gave you a professional business address with digital mailing scanning so you can stay organized and legit from day one. And unlike a lot of companies in the space, Busy's pricing is fully transparent. There are no subscriptions quietly renewing year after year. You get clear, upfront pricing, and you only pay for what you need when you need it. If you're serious about building something real, one quick pit stop with Busy now helps you make sure your business is ready for the long haul. Click the link below to get started with Busy today.
So some of your gas stations operate 24/7, others don't. Can you talk about how you came to that decision? How does one watching right now who operates a gas station, maybe who needs to understand, does he operate 24/7? And really logistics with employees and everything, how does all that work?
So it all depends on where your station's at. For example, the Arco station is surrounded by a lot of industrial area. So there's some factories who are open 24/7 here. Making this one 24-hour totally made sense. So that way we get a lot of the shift work people who come in, work night shift, they have the chance to shop at the store. The other station, Vendor Shell, is 18 hours since there's not a lot of buildings or a lot of community in the area. Then one more station in Mount Vernon is the other one that we open 24 hours. That's again right on the highway, and we get a lot of traffic.
So traffic is the determining factor?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. And what about logistics with employees working there and something happens at night? You as an operator work, do you get that phone call? Talk to us about those experiences.
I get the second phone call. So all of our stores have the managers who manage the sites. So the managers get the first call. If the manager doesn't answer, then I get the call. So most of the time, the manager will arrange for someone to pick up the shift, or if they can't find someone, then they end up helping out, or we end up going and helping out.
Okay. So your gas stations have another aspect to them that I don't see at every gas station, that is a food aspect. Walk us through the advantage of that. What does that do? So
basically, it does bring a lot of more customers in the store. So having the food is a major thing, because people come to a gas station, they want to have something quick bite to eat, to fill up their tank, and on the way they go. So if there's a food involved, then it just makes a one quick stop shop. So that way they get their food, they get their gas, they get their snacks and their drinks, and off they go.
What are the pros and cons of buying something that's already in operation or building a brand new one?
So the stations that we bought were already existing gas stations. They were already operating. Compared to buying in or setting up a new one could be challenging sometimes, because you don't know how well they're going to go. I've seen it in past experience where one gas station will do great, and then the other one, whatever you thought it would be, but it doesn't turn out to be that way.
Right.
So being an existing gas station, there are benefits because the market is already out there and people already know about it, and you already have your customers.
That makes sense. You already see the numbers that it's doing.
Exactly.
And you pay value based on what it's generating.
Exactly. And then the benefit that you have is to grow in more in sale. Since we've taken over, we've doubled the sales.
Wow.
That is all doing by knowing your customers, bringing in the right products.
That's insane.
That's all it helps.
Is there a seasonality to the business? Like summers are super busy, winters are completely dead. Can you walk us through the evolution of the January through December?
With this type of business, it's a 12 months. You do see your up and down. So basically during the summertime, we have a lot of farmer workers here in this area. A lot of people are traveling, especially when the borders open. So we do see a lot of traffic during the summer. Some winter can slow down a bit, but I wouldn't say a lot. So this is the business where you can pretty much make money throughout the year.
How long did it take you to recoup your initial investment with the first gas station?
On that one station, I would say in profit, it can take you up to a good couple of years.
And then you're all in profit after that's all recouped.
Exactly.
And then it's big party time.
And then it is, yes.
Where do most of your customers come from?
So a lot of the customers are local customers, and I would say maybe 20% of them passing by.
Okay.
But majority of the 80% are the customers who live in the local.
Basically, you're dealing with 80% of repeat customers.
Yes.
In and out every day.
Repeat customers who we see on a daily basis, sometimes twice a day.
So on that note, how do you maintain that consistent customer experience with your employees across 8 locations? Are you training them a specific way? Are they having to do something weekly? Share that with us a little bit.
We have a daily checklist that everybody follows to make sure that they're doing what they need to be doing to maintain the store right, so customers do want to come back by stocking, by filling, providing great customer service, and basically just knowing what your customers are in for and making sure you have it. So that brings them back over and over.
This has been a great interview. What would be your one piece of advice to our viewers for creating the best customer experience in a gas station situation?
I would say know your customers, know what your customers are in for, ask your customers what they're looking for, don't be shy to approach them, and just bring it in the store and have it ready for them.
Awesome. And if you live in the area of Linden or Whatcom County, come by and say hi to this wonderful team.
You've seen what it looks like turning a $1 million gas station investment into $32 million a year. Now, check out what it takes to build a business empire from scratch. Click right here to watch this next video where we unpack how one young entrepreneur started his own trucking business and scaled it to $100,000 a month at just 19 years old.